Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we will be taking a look at the top 10 best premium vehicles in my opinion that you could buy if you were looking to buy, based off of how fun they are, what they have to offer, armor, guns, etc., battle rating, bang for buck basically. Pretty much the same as the top 10 best premium vehicles in my opinion that I did a couple months ago that has quite a few views already. I think it's one of my highest viewed videos. So yes, without further ado, let's start with number 10. Number 10 is the Chinu II because of the gun, primarily. The standard tree gets a Chinu, but it does not get the 75mm Type 2 that the Hori gets, I believe that is what that is called, or is it the Chi? No, it's the Chito. Excuse me, Hori is that thing. It's the Chito that this thing gets. Basically, you get that gun at .7 battle rating lower, and you can drop that thing down into 3.0 matches and pretty much one shot just about anything and anyone. It's also got some nice camouflages. You can put bushes on it quite well, so you can conceal this thing quite well, except for the machine gun up on top. I do forgot how much this thing cost. It was a couple thousand golden eagles, so it isn't too expensive, but what you get is a pretty decent rank 3 mid-tier grind machine for grinding Japan if you are so interested in doing that. This was the vehicle I used primarily for that. Armor, pretty standard Japanese, pretty much like 50 to 30 millimeters around, 20 millimeters, etc. So you can take a few shots, just don't make a habit of getting shot. Number 9 would probably have to go to the AX30 Super. When they first added the AX30s, they added just the AX30, which does not have a stabilizer, does not get APFSDS, etc. Had a pretty decent heat round, but you had to lob that thing at targets. But then they added the Super, which takes the cake at number 9. Again, this thing is very similar to the Leopard as it came out of the same development program. Absolutely no armor to speak of, at least at high tier. Has a really good gun and gets thermals, which is pretty much the only reason I would suggest picking this up. You have to go to the Gaijin store, which I will link down below, to go pick this thing up if you want it. Other than that, there's not a whole lot special except for the fact the thing is high tier. It'll get you through France pretty quickly if you're grinding the French out. And it is an interesting vehicle to use. Number 8 goes to the M18 Black Cat, which is a pack, I believe, on the Gaijin store as well. I'm not sure if it's still there. I believe it should be. Otherwise, you might have to wait for a sale or a special or something like that. But this thing is basically the same thing that is in the standard tech tree right here at 4.7. And this thing pisses everyone off. You basically rocket around the map and shoot things and try not to get shot. And as you can see, it's quite easy to conceal with a bunch of bushes. Thing's gun depression is fairly decent. And the round that this thing gets is ridiculous. You will be taking out panthers, tigers, tiger 2s. If you get up that high or want to up tier it, you can do that. And the thing is fast, as I said before. Of course, no armor to speak of, so you have to be very careful. But if you want a fun American tank to take out and shoot some stuff with, you can take the M18 Black Cat. Number 7 now goes to another American vehicle, the XM1 GM. This vehicle, again, has absolutely no armor, is played very similarly to the AX30. You zoom around the map, you do get thermals and APFSDS, and that is about it. As you can see, if you look at it, the thing doesn't get a whole lot of armor, spaced armor, composite armor. but nothing around the sides, so you are very, very vulnerable to getting shot. This thing is also on the Gaijin store, so if you want to go pick it up, you can do that. This is a little better than the Black Cat in the fact that you get the higher premium bonuses and also top tier experience while you're grinding from low to high. But other than that, you will find yourself getting shot up a lot in it unless you shoot first and stay concealed. Number 6 will happen to go to the KV1C756R, which is a OP tank at 4.7. The gun is the KWK-40, and that thing pens just about everything at 4.7 and below. Thing is not as fast as a lot of vehicles, but it is the KV1, of course, so that's to be expected. But the armor on this thing is ridiculous, and it has all these weird ganky places with extra armor, behind armor, and in front of armor that makes penning this thing very, very difficult at the correct angle. You can see, like, that's pretty ridiculous. Turret armor is stupid. That cupola up there, though, is a big weakness, so you might get shot there a lot, so maybe slap a bush up there. But, I mean, it's a KV1, so it had to make the list at some point. This thing is a couple thousand golden eagles as well. Will make the grind a little more interesting and fun. And if you take it into sim battles, you can basically become the imposter should you be able to hide that cupola well enough. So yes. Moving on. Next up at number 5, we have probably the French tank that got me the French tree unlocked, the M4A1 FL10. It's a Sherman, so of course you can angle it and bounce a lot, including Tiger 1 shells. And that's not all that makes it nice. It's the gun and the turret and the autoloader. This thing has a flat 5-second reload rate, which is about 3 seconds faster than most of the tanks you will fight. So you can fire first, bounce a shot, and then wreck them quickly again. The thing also looks super cool and interesting with the oscillating turret like that. It makes the Sherman have a little more different appearance to it. Also, this one is on the Gaijin store as well, so if you want to go pick it up, you can do that. If not, don't then. Number 4 would happen to be the 2.3 battle rating B1 Tur, which is a couple hundred golden eagles, sitting at 2.3 rank 2. But if you want a tank that is literally a mobile bunker on tracks, this is your vehicle. You get the 75mm gun down here, a 47mm gun up here, and the only thing that you should worry about is an up tier with Panzer IV F2s, but this thing is really good at removing those as well, so it's kind of a trade-off. Basically, if you shoot first, Panzer IV is dead. He shoots, he might kill you. Might, I say, because this thing is difficult to kill. The thing's really, really thick, as you can see. It's got all this track space and ridiculous armor in weird layouts. It's basically a bunker on tracks. On to number 4.
For number 3,
we have the Tiger II SLA-16, which is also packed on the Gaijin store. It is pretty much the same thing as the Tiger II in the standard tree, except it gets more track armor on the turret and is a lot faster and more mobile, which I'll take any day of the week. Guns all the same, armor is relatively similar, battle rating's the same, still gets the same 88. And this was also one of my very first tank premiums that I ever bought back probably 5-6 years ago. And I still enjoy taking this thing out every once in a while. So if you want a good 6.7 with pretty decent research ability, then I feel like this is the vehicle for you. Number 2 has to go to the IS-6. This is probably was one of, and probably still is one of, the most OP vehicles at 7.3. I made a video on this thing a couple months ago with Clifford, and I sat there and just absolutely soaked up shots while dishing out the damage. Thing's reload rate is pretty high, but if you hit center mass with the 120, it will kill the vehicle, while this thing's armor will protect you very, very well. It is sloped back nicely. The turret face has over 500 millimeters of penetration protection, and the thing is quite mobile for a tank of its size and weight. It's also a premium. You'll have to go to the online store and pick it up. Yes. On to number one. Number one would have to go to the Leopard A1A1. This thing is very similar to the AMX30 Super, except I prefer playing this thing better just because it complements my German lineup a lot better. If you have a high tier lineup, you get the Rheinmetall L44 120, which is ridiculously OP at 9.0 and even can be viable up to 10.7. The thing is super quick. Its mobility is really good. The armor is non-existent, but if you shoot and scoot, this thing will have you grinding through Germany so fast. I mean, this thing puts Blitz in Blitzkrieg. So if you want a really good vehicle that sits at 9.0 to grind out Germany, I would highly suggest picking this thing up off the Gaijin store. I have bought in this vehicle for numerous of my friends who've been wanting to grind Germany out, and I feel like they all really enjoy playing it. Yes. So without further ado, that was my top 10 best premium vehicles in terms of bang for buck. It's just basically a part 2 to the top 10 favorite aircraft premiums and best aircraft premiums. That was, in my opinion, that I did a couple months ago, that also has one of the highest view ratings and has pulled in the most subscribers over the last year. And so thank you to all of the people who have liked, watched, commented, subscribed due to that video, and I hope you guys find this one just as interesting. So without further ado, I will see y'all in the next video or live stream, whichever one comes first, and have a great day. Reds out.